and thank you for coming back to another Scuttlebutt. 2 days ago, I attended an online housing forum run by the London Borough of Waltham Forest. To say it was a farce would be understating how bad farces are. There was no communication between residents. Inter-messaging was not allowed. Chat was disabled on a few occasions. I think they were trying to disable chat just for me, but they couldn't work out how to do it. There was no cameras on, so you couldn't see who was in the room. The hosts didn't introduce themselves. There was a cursory introduction by Louise Mitchell. None of my messages got responded to, apart from when I kept repeating and repeating and repeating. And on occasions, I had to actually ask other people if they could see my messages. And I know they've been turned off occasionally. And they don't like me, Waltham Forest Council, because I know what my rights are. So to say that a forum wasn't really a forum, it was just a talking shop with the council and the housing ombudsman telling people what they are going to do, not what they haven't done, or responding to any decent questions. I know people were putting stuff in the chat that was personal. I wasn't putting stuff in the chat that was personal. I was putting stuff in the chat that I'd experienced over the last 3 years. But they don't like that. They keep putting me under a single point of contact. Unlawfully, I hasten to keep adding, I recorded the whole thing as well, because Romana did say that it was a public record, so I'm going to have a look for my recording later and see if it's clear enough, because this is the first time I've tried recording it. So I'm going to see if it's clear enough, and I'll put it up on YouTube, because it is a public recording. I'm still waiting for the email from Romana, or whoever's organising it. No one from the council introduced themselves. No one in the council had their name and job title up. And apparently, no housing officers appeared either. Despite the fact that the Eventbrite advert, and I've emailed Eventbrite for their ideal circumstances, let's put it that way, for what should happen when people are hosting meetings. The Eventbrite advert actually said, meet your housing officer. If you've got a discussion for your housing officer, then we'll have breakout rooms afterwards. I can always get a copy of it off Eventbrite if they've taken it down. Waltham Forest Council do seem to be treating us like fools, and most of us are not fools. I'm mainly addressing this now to residents in my community. We have been mistreated, abused and ignored for far too long now, and it's about time we all stood up and said no further. We have rights which Waltham Forest Council are stepping over. Disabled people, myself included, have rights which Waltham Forest Council are ignoring. They even boast the fact that they only deal with physically disabled people on their website. I have a screenshot of that if they want to take it down. I still have a screenshot. And it's been up there for years. Have a search for Waltham Forest and assisted collection. And you will get to the assisted collection bin service page. And on there it says, this service is available for anyone that is physically unable to move their bins to the edge of the property. Physically unable. They are discriminating against the mentally handicapped. Mentally handicapped generally aren't physically disabled. They're mentally disabled, hence the protected characteristic under the 2010 Equality Act. Look up the 2010 Equality Act in section 149. Even Waltham Forest quote Section 149 because it's the public sector duty of care. And they're supposed to reduce the amount of discrimination against people with protected characteristics, assist in communicating with them, and stamp out, generally, any discrimination whatsoever on any grounds. Because there's like 10 protected characteristics. Mentally disabled is only one, and physically disabled is another. And I can't remember what all the other ones are. But there's an awful lot of characteristics. Gender, sexual orientation, 2 others. But I think there's 10. At least it looked like there was 10 when I read the Act a couple of weeks ago. I just can't remember because I haven't got, that good a memory. But yes, people of Waltham Forest, we must all join together. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook and my website. YouTube is over there. You can get me all over the place. We need to join together to get something done. Residents' associations are all well and good, but if you haven't got one, or the last one was badly organised by a drug user and his friend, you just have to take it into your own hands and form a coalition of residents. We don't have to tell the council about it. We can just act as a group. So do let me know. We need to sort this out because I'm fed up of disabled people being discriminated against in this borough. And, I am not, and sadly, I found out from the forum, I am not the only one in this borough that is getting this treatment. For instance, I've been waiting 6 months for a tap to be repaired. No explanation. I've been waiting 6 months for an overpayment and compensation from May, from the Housing Ombudsman, to be repaid. And only this morning, after the 3rd complaint I put in, via Resolver, everyone use Resolver to log your complaints and questions because the council will not ignore you then. I've logged my complaints by email and they're treated as business as usual, but when they come in through Resolver, they get logged as a complaint. So everyone, I can't emphasise this enough, ignore the council's portal. Resolver does everything for you. It keeps track of the times. As soon as they've had their 10 days, it emails you and tells you, do you want to escalate it? And you just click yes. And it comes up with, why do you want to escalate this, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes off to stage 2. You don't have to ask them to send it to stage 2. It goes to stage 2. I'll put a link to Resolver down in the description. And I think I've also put it up on my local community webpage as well. But you use Resolver for all your correspondence, questions, complaints, everything. Freedom of information, do it through Resolver. Because if they put you under a single point of contact and don't tell you, like they've done with me, then they have to still deal with your complaints and questions. Anyway, I'm not going to carry on too long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I do hope my local community gets involved in this. This is translated into about 40 languages. So hopefully I shall be in communication with my local community soon. Thank you for watching.